Hello and welcome to another episode of Two Labs Garage. The old 97 Ram here, got brake calipers sticking, it's eating up the pad, so I'm going to get in there and change that. I'm also going to change out the rotor. I'll tell you why in a little bit. Welcome to Two Labs Garage. Hey y'all, my name's Aaron and I'm a car addict. And these are my assistants, Caroline and Nellie. Together, we are Two Labs Garage. We're a car YouTube channel. We love old cars. We love old trucks. We go to events, shows, drives. We do repairs, maintenance, budget bills. Let you in on some of my tips and tricks I've learned over the years. And when we get the chance, we revive them. So come join us here at Two Labs Garage, where we're going to have fun putting old relics like this back on the road on a budget, and most importantly all, we're just going to have fun with old cars. Let's see what we got in here. Well, I can start off with some good news. My rubber line's good. That's good because I'll have a new one. But let's get this caliper off. Leave that thing looks as rusty as that is. I'm glad I'm changing it. The bleeder on this caliper is completely rusted off. I'll show you here in a minute. Alright, so here's a little bit of what I was talking about. If this isn't the bleeder, I don't know what is. I don't see anything else that looks like a bleeder. But that's, I mean, you never go fix that. That's why some of the other channels out there, they'll drive them for however far home, never mess with the brakes because you got stuff like this going on, and you'll never fix them. So anyway, this takes an Allen style bolt to get these out. Now I'm having one of these help me understand moments, because I cannot figure out, guess it comes straight back, if I can't somehow relax this caliper. Alright, so what I did with a sleeve clamp was just enough. I was able to pull this loose. I'm going to stick this on the A-arm. Also checking right here, this is something you can do. I'm listening real good. These bearings are in excellent shape, but nonetheless I'm going to change them. And I'm going to go ahead and get into a couple reasons why here. I'm going to be harvesting this rotor. Doing like this, really need to do on the back. That rotor is still in outstanding condition. When I got my 71 F100, right when I got it, I got one of the Scarebird disc brake kits. And I'm glad I did it when I did, because unfortunately Scarebird's gone out of business. But their disc brake conversion actually uses these same rotors. Being that truck is never going to get a whole lot of mileage after I redo it, I decided rather than put the brand new stuff on that, I'd harvest these that are still good. Yeah, I mean they're used parts, but because I've owned them all along, I know they're good. I'm going to harvest these hubs, put them in storage for a little while till I get ready to do that truck. And I'm just going to put brand new ones on the vehicle I drive a lot and I do all my towing with and whatnot. So this truck will have brand new brake stuff here in the front. Go ahead and pop the cap off here. Anyway, I'm going to get me a pair of pliers. We're going to pop these hubs off. Alright, go ahead and straighten up the Carter key. And get the castle nut off. Now she got some crud on her. They sounded good, but seeing what I'm seeing here, this is making me glad I'm changing the bearings. They got some heat in them too. This bearing change is right on time with those heat signatures and the gunk and all that. All right, pull the hub off. I don't know what that gear inside the wheel's for, or hub, or whatever this is. Four-wheel drive, maybe? Yeah, this grease is in bad shape. All right, so enough of me gawking at my hubs. I feel much better about the fact that I am changing the bearings now. I don't feel like I'm being wasteful, because it needed to be done. Huh. All right, let's open up, take a look at our new rotor. See what I get. Ray Bestos. Piece of luau in there. I guess that's to protect everything. Good God. Alright, so I got it sitting here on the cardboard just as a way to try to keep it, what do you call it? Clean. Clean, yeah, it's a new word for me. Anyway, got that. And I got some bearings that have tooth marks in them because the dog brought them to me. Isn't that right, Caroline? Caroline, bring me the bearings, Caroline. Caroline, thank you. Thank you for bringing me bearings. You still want the bearings, okay. Now Nellie wants to help with the bearings. But yeah, she will bring me parts when I ask for them. The only catch is, you better have the parts that you want her to bring you sitting out already, because she'll bring you the oil filter for a different vehicle or stuff like that. See, I always like to get the bearings that come with the races, because you just never know. Necessary on this one? Nope. Alright, that fits good in there. Now we're going to pack them. A lot of people like to just do it like this in their hands. I mean, that's fine, it'll work. But I got a tool. I like to use it. Put the bearing in between the cones. I'll show you this. This is just two plastic cones. Got the bearing sandwiched in the middle. It's got a grease fitting on here. You pump your grease when it starts coming out, your bearings are packed. Pretty simple. Alright, for grease I'm using the Lucas Oil Red and Tacky. I'll tell you why I picked the Lucas. There's a channel out there that's called Project Farm, and this guy goes and tests all different types of products and compares them and this, that, and the other. Not sponsored by anybody. Well, he did one on greases, and when I watched that video, I was like, sold. Worth it. Now, just need to put a seal on this. And due to the delicate nature of these, I'll let the dog bring them to me. Alright, let's just tap her in. Now to just do a front bearing. Caroline, bearing please. Bring me the bearing, Caroline. Oh, that's a good girl. Thank you. And don't worry, the ones she's bringing me are not greased yet. Again, don't need a race. Alright, and go ahead and plop this bearing in. Alright, so now this hub slash brake rotor is ready to go back on the truck. We got new seals, new bearings, full of grease. Now it's time to install. Alright, so one thing we're going to want here is a nice clean spindle shaft. So some brake cleaner. Rags. Now this old grease was the texture of Play-Doh. Gonna call that good. Alright. Easy on. And I did a little research on how much grease to put in bearings and wheel hubs and all that. And the consensus I pretty much got was half full. Now, I don't know how to gauge it's half, so I'm just kind of guessing, but I've always been accused a little bit of being an over-greaser. You can over-grease them, but I like to be a little too heavy rather than a little too light on the grease. Clean the old washer off. So I'm tightening it too tight. Back off. Spin that around a few times. Back off a little more. Tighten. Tighten her up snug. Back it off. Tighten up. Now I'm just trying to make sure everything's seated good. Is all this necessary? Probably not. But I feel better doing it. Alright. Turn this way. Should always use a new Carter key when you do this. So I'm, of course, using my old one. Alright, so now just tap, 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 tap-a-roo. Just tap it in there. Just tap it in there. Get your in there. Alright, so the cap's on. Now, get this off. Try not to strain that line any more than I absolutely have to. Get the banjo bolt off. And for this one anyway, it was a 7/16. And here you see the brake pad where it wasn't releasing, and it's grounded completely off. Meanwhile, back at the tailgate, fixing the calipers and putting on pads. Alright, yeah, I sing a little bit. I know I'm terrible. You don't have to tell me, I already know. But anyway, just a little update. Normally when I get these calipers, if you pull one of these bolts out, you'll get a greasy mess in your hand. These were bone dry. So, I don't know if it was a good idea or not, but I took some of the Lucas stuff that's on my cardboard here and put it on the bolts. So now they're greased up. Alright, pads on. Alright, so, got a little bit of a situation. I seem to have lost the banjo bolts. That's not good. But the good news is the old one's still pretty usable. I shot some brake clean through it, and I had some extra crush washer, so I'll just use that. It'll be fine. Sometimes you gotta do a little persuading on them. Okay, so obviously it's a new day again. And I'll try to explain real quick why that is. Last night when I went to put this caliper on, I was having a little difficulty, and then I realized the bleeder screw was upside down. To that I realized they gave me two right sides, on the left and right. So the right thing to do would have been just to suck it up and go down to road to the AutoZone because that's the closest place to me, and get a left side caliper. So I decided to do the right thing and just grind off a nub that keeps it from bolting up on the driver's side and use that. Boys and girls, never alter your brake parts. You should never do that, but I did. I'm going to butt in here real quick and just say that I know there's a lot of concern about being able to properly bleed with the bleeder upside down. I am in no way, shape, or form recommending that you put a right side caliper on the left or vice versa. Don't do that. I will say, however, that with a vacuum pump I was able to bleed the brakes properly. And since filming the video, I've put a couple hundred miles on this truck, including towing my car trailer that doesn't have trailer brakes with the truck and the trailer fully loaded. So I was able to do it, but again, I don't recommend that. So anyway, everything's mounted up, and the only thing I gotta do now is bleed the brakes. Now that's the other consequence of what I've done here, is the brake bleeder is now upside down. And if I was doing a normal bleed, that may or may not pose an issue, but I'm got the little succulator out, so I'm confident that I can just pull the fluid through and it's not going to be an issue. Alright, so at this point, just go bleed the brakes out. Bleeding complete. Now I should be able to put the wheel on. And at this point, the brake job is complete. So that'll do it for this edition of Two Labs Garage. Got the brake job done on the front. Did encounter a hiccup, but we got through it. So anyway, if you would please go ahead, hit the like button on this video, subscribe to the channel. It helps me out a lot. Helps me afford to do some of the projects I do. So take care of yourself, take care of each other, take care of your projects. God bless, and I'll see you again soon.